In the realms of criminal infamy, few names provoke as much horror and revulsion as Daniel Camargo Barbosa. His chilling legacy, spanning the 1970s and 1980s in Colombia and Ecuador, marks him as one of history's most prolific serial killers. This exploration delves into Barbosa's dark path of destruction, shedding light on the lives he took and the communities forever scarred by his actions. Born on January 22, 1930 in Colombia, Daniel Camargo Barbosa's entry into the world was marked by instability and turmoil. His mother died when he was a young child, a pivotal event that left him in the care of an abusive stepmother who subjected him to physical and emotional torment. This early exposure to violence and neglect forged the initial links in a chain of psychological dysfunction that would only grow over time. Despite these early challenges, Barbosa's intelligence shone through in his academic pursuits, suggesting a future far removed from the atrocities he would later commit. However, the scars of his upbringing ran deep, creating a chasm between the person he could have been and the monster he would become. Reports from those who knew him during these formative years describe a boy prone to solitude and marked by an unsettling demeanor, signs of the turmoil that brewed beneath his calm exterior. As Barbosa transitioned into adolescence, his behavior grew increasingly alarming. He exhibited early signs of sociopathic tendencies, manipulating those around him with a chilling ease. His foray into crime began with petty thefts and escalated into more severe offenses, hinting at the dark path his life would take. It was during this period that Barbosa's fascination with control and dominance began to manifest, setting the stage for his future crimes. By the time he reached adulthood, Barbosa had perfected the art of deception, using his outward charm to mask the malevolence that lay within. His crimes against young girls were not impulsive acts of violence, but rather the culmination of a deeply ingrained pattern of abuse and manipulation. Barbosa's methods were as brutal as they were cowardly, employing deceit to ensnare his unsuspecting prey. The tragedy of his early life morphed into the horror of his actions, claiming the lives of at least 72 victims in a spree of violence that shook Colombia and Ecuador to their core. Barbosa's reign of terror knew no bounds, stretching across continents with a chilling precision that left authorities baffled. From the vibrant streets of Bogotá in Colombia to the tranquil valleys of the Andes in Ecuador, his nefarious schemes unfolded like a sinister web. Pretending to be a lost traveler seeking help, Barbosa preyed on the unsuspecting kindness of young girls, luring them into his trap with false promises and deceitful charm. Once ensnared in his clutches, he revealed his true monstrous nature, subjecting his victims to unspeakable horrors that included not just rape and murder, but also vile acts of torture that defied comprehension. The aftermath of his heinous crimes reverberated through both nations like a thunderclap, shattering the illusion of safety and revealing the stark reality of evil that lurked beneath their seemingly peaceful facades. The pursuit of justice for Barbosa's victims was fraught with challenges. In the era before advanced forensic technology, investigators relied on witness statements and the sparse physical evidence available. Barbosa's eventual capture in Ecuador, following the murder of a young girl who had gone missing, marked the beginning of the end for his horrific spree. Yet the full extent of his crimes would only be revealed through his own chilling confessions. Throughout the trial, Daniel Camargo Barbosa sat stoically in the courtroom, his piercing gaze unwavering as he recounted the grisly details of his crimes with unsettling precision. He described in chilling detail how he meticulously selected his victims, stalking them through dimly lit alleyways and secluded streets. Barbosa's voice remained eerily steady as he narrated the methodical manner in which he carried out each abduction and murder, sparing no horrific detail. His lack of remorse was palpable as he delved into the twisted motivations behind his actions, revealing a disturbing blend of deep-seated hatred and a perverse thirst for dominance over his victims. The courtroom fell silent as Barbosa's words painted a harrowing portrait of a man devoid of empathy or regard for human life, his cold demeanor sending shivers down the spines of all present. As Barbosa's convictions were announced, a sense of grim satisfaction settled over the onlookers, knowing that this remorseless predator would be locked away in Ecuadorian prison walls. The weight of his atrocities hung heavy in the air, offering a somber reassurance to a community still reeling from the magnitude of evil that had been unleashed upon them. In 1994, at Quito's Garcia Moreno prison, Daniel Camargo Barbosa met his demise in a chilling manner. Seated in his cell on November 13th, he faced a grim fate as a new inmate, Giovanni Arcesio Noguera Jaramillo strode in. Noguera was 29 years old when he compelled Camargo to kneel before him with an air of ominous determination. With the words, "It is the hour of vengeance," hanging heavy in the air, Noguera swiftly plunged a blade into Camargo's flesh, not once or twice, but 8 times until life ebbed away. In a macabre twist, he severed one of Camargo's ears as a grisly token of his retribution. Shortly after committing this brutal act, Noguera brazenly displayed the severed ear to the prison guards. His chilling justification echoed through the corridors. He proclaimed that his aunt had fallen victim to Camargo's atrocities and that this was his way of avenging her memory. The aftermath of Camargo's violent end was shrouded in further darkness. With no one coming forward to claim his remains, he was consigned to an unmarked grave within Quito's El Baton cemetery. Thus, at 64 years old, Daniel Camargo Barbosa found an ignoble resting place befitting his gruesome legacy. The legacy of Daniel Camargo Barbosa is a somber reminder of the vulnerabilities that exist within our societies. His crimes, while extreme, force us to confront uncomfortable truths about the potential for darkness in the human soul and the importance of vigilance in protecting the most innocent among us. As we reflect on the horrific legacy of Daniel Camargo Barbosa, we are reminded of the enduring strength of the human spirit in the face of unimaginable evil. If this in-depth exploration into one of the darkest chapters of Latin American criminal history has moved you, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that delves into the complex and often shadowy aspects of our world.